to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, I got a question for you in the poll, in the chat. In one moment, we are looking at historic price levels for both silver and gold. And I want to get you guys' input on what we're going to see this week. Alright, if you guys could divert your attention to the poll in the chat. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Bitcoin currently trading at $87,420.03. Looking good. Let's go check out our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. As always, market was pretty boring up until today, which we expect every single weekend. I don't know why they do that, but that's just the way that it goes. 86,794. 86,794. A lot of people calling for super duper low prices, and so far it seems like they're going to be right, unfortunately. 84,797. And then yep. Up top, 88,034. More historic liquidation levels on Bitcoin over the weekend, or today I guess I should say. 89,136. Oops, 136. And there we have it. Liquidation points based on the current market conditions. Bitcoin smack dab in the middle, $87,420. Getting a little dumpy right there, actually. Dominance, 59.84. Struggling to reach or get above. Actually, it's actually doing pretty good. Still working its way slowly towards 60%. Bitcoin up 0.87 since the daily close. We have a blue trend line, which is topical. Let's see. The blue trend line pertains to our level that we reached. I guess just the 3 hits to the downside. Maybe it's on a higher time frame. Or lower time frame? What is that? Maybe it is a lower time frame. Let's go back down to the 4-hour. It is a 4-hour time frame. Okay. So in November 2025 is what this trend line started at, and we're currently sitting below it, which is not great. My bear market low, if things don't get too spicy, I'm guessing around 70K. But right now it's not looking too hot. Not looking too hot. We were oversold for a hot second on the RSI. about to potentially cross bullish over that moving average. We do have a confirmed, or not, I'm sorry, we have a green dot on the momentum wave on Market Cipher, a unconfirmed green dot on Market Cipher as a whole, and negative money flow. So we'll see what comes of this, especially come market open. Market open is going to be very, very interesting. ETH is up 1.27%, trying to make some semblance of a recovery here. Big red candle. Let's see, we lost 3.89% on ETH and this red candle. Pretty hefty drop, so crazy to see that, especially on a Sunday. Nothing too much that can be done, to be honest. Solana also had a very big drop. This candle, 6.08%. It is in recovery mode. It's up 2.2%. Halfway recovered that candle. Same with ETH. ETH a little bit less. And Bitcoin slightly recovering these dumps. I'm not entirely sure what the cause of this was. Obviously, we had 100% tariff threats on Canada from the president. And then after that, I guess there was some drama in China. I don't think that would have dumped the market, though. Allegedly, the Fed is propping up the Japanese yen now. They're stepping in, which I guess when that happens, assets usually excel. And right now, the acceleration we're seeing is mostly just silver and gold. Silver, $108.99, historic price levels. Gold, also first time ever trading above $5,000 an ounce. $5,082.78. Very, very impressive. Total 3 up 0.82% since the daily close, slightly recovering some of this bad price action. We are still above our local low of 800, but it's getting pretty close. It's getting very close. Now, I have seen in the past where this would equate as a W with that lower low. I've seen that way too many times. The lower low almost always results in a nice size bounce to the upside. I don't know if that's going to be the case this time around, but keep that in mind. Just based on past history, 826.32 billion current market cap. We'll see how much lower we go. ADA is up 1.71% on the day, currently trading at 34.49. Crypto Spaces said Peter Schiff was right all along. I mean, was he though? Bitcoin is up like 182,000% since inception or something. Some ridiculously large number. So if you compare that to gold in that same time period, Bitcoin's definitely doing better. Obviously, unless Peter Schiff was right, maybe in like 2023, but I'd rather be right for like several decades than just 3 years. You know what I mean? But diversity is important. The reason why I'll never have, I don't know, respect for Peter Schiff's opinion is because he is a monopoly investor. He only buys one thing. Whereas I would rather be a polyamorous investor. But I don't know, that's just my thing. I mean, I guess monogamous was the word I was looking for. Anyways, Snag is up 1.91% on the day, currently trading at 6.974, probably going down to 6 since we lost 7.772. Midnight up 2.2% on the day. This thing, and it's holding this level as good as it can, 0.058. If we lose 0.054, then it's going to get real spicy, but we'll keep an eye on it. So far, so good. XRP is up 2.01% on the day, almost entirely recovering that dump, which is interesting. This thing, it seems like it's been a little bit dumpier than other assets. We did lose $2, and we're sitting at 187 right now. We hit 184, which was my target. I guess not necessarily a target as much as it is just a point of confluence. We also filled this wick from January 19th, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. We have a green dot on the momentum wave, which is incredibly oversold. RSI was oversold, currently about to actually in the middle of crossing bullish over that moving average. We'll see if we end up coming down to, looks like so far $1.75 would be the level to get a bounce off of this trend line that we've been keeping an eye on. But so far so good. We're going to skip around. Avalanche up 0.44% on the day. We hit our lower trend line again. So no surprise there. Lower trend line, the blue, and pretty much the orange. I'm just going to call that a hit. So we'll see if we get a recovery out of this. Otherwise, probably going to trade sideways and down a little bit. If this thing gets to single digits, it's going to get real bad. We are oversold, or we were oversold for a hot second. We just crawled out of that, about to cross bullish over that moving average. Potentially, we have a green dot on market cipher, or on the momentum wave point to the upside with negative money flow. Unconfirmed green dot on market cipher. Volume, weekend volume, nothing really too much to say about that. Chainlink is up 1.48% on the day, currently trading at 1169, bouncing off of 1150. Not too bad. We broke 1239, rejected it twice, and eventually plummeted down to 1150, which held nicely as support. If we break that, then we're going to $11 for sure. About to cross bullish over the moving average and the RSI. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside. Incredibly oversold, but negative money flow. So, silver. Silver's up 5.54% on the day, currently trading at 109.97 and 60 tenths of a cent. I asked you guys, we got 5 votes so far. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. I said, what hits first? $110 for silver, $5,500 for gold, $95K for Bitcoin, or a total market capitulation. So far, 40% of you guys said $110 for silver. I'm going to have to agree with you guys because we're about to hit it. But we'll see, man. We'll see. And then we'll see if Saeed was correct for his $115 call before consolidation. Calvin said, bought a bit more Bitcoin for my son and grandchildren. Nice. I like to see that. When the market is really bad like this, probably the best time to DCA. Not financial advice. Still waiting on February 2nd for our ISM manufacturers PMI print. That'll be interesting. DXY continuing to plummet, and I believe that this is in contrast with the Japanese yen. Let me see if I can actually get that. US dollar, Japanese yen. Oh. Yeah, US dollar weight against the Japanese yen. Japanese yen is, let me see, JPY USD. Yep. So, we are selling dollars and buying yen. I don't know. I'm assuming that's just a prop to market up. That's allegedly what's happening right now. And I talked about this the other day. We have a legacy trend line on the DXY that goes back to 2011. Let me showcase this because this is a big deal to me. This goes all the way back to 2011 right here. July, August 2011. You could probably even put it even further. Let me go right here. Right there. April 2011. That's literally... that is the month and year my daughter was born. That's crazy. So my daughter's birthday, this goes back to my daughter's birthday, this legacy trend line, we've basically hit it once, and we're at it again. Very important that we hold this. Technically, we're already, like, stretching it to accommodate the idea that we haven't broken below it. It kind of seems like we've broken below it, though. But without, trying to make it seem worse than it already is, if we break below this, it's probably, things are going to get very, very interesting. I don't know if that means deflation. I don't know if that means de-dollarization. I really have no clue what the implications of that are. Look at how oversold we are, though, just on the 4 hour alone. Based on how fast this normally moves and how long it would normally take to dump like this, this is a big, big move. That's a huge move. To go from, like, dump trajectories like this to basically, like you could see it it's really starting to go vertical. And vertical to the downside is not great. So I'm not sure. It's not great for the dollar itself, but it's really good for risk assets. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, is apparently up 1.32%, 162.90. We'll see what comes of this come market open. As of right now, we got a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI. Looking for that possible continuation. I call it Big B Coffee because whoever decided to redesign their logo and use burnt orange, literally use the exact same orange as Big B Coffee. NASDAQ, looking like a baby recovery, 25,509 and 50 cents. We'll see what comes of this market open as well. Not really sure what I'm looking for, to be honest. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. Our fractal is actually calling for a continued upside. So we'll see if we get that maybe on a shorter term time frame. I don't know. RSI looks good. Technically bouncing off of 50. We'll see if we get a break above that moving average. Red dot in the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Money flow is positive though. I don't know if market cipher can apply to stocks, but we're going to read it anyways. S&P $69.15 and 62 cents. Looking for this bad boy to also continue to the upside, and we'll eventually get a bounce come mid to late February. But for now, we'll keep an eye on it. I like it being above 68.65. I will say, with midterms closing in as fast as they are, it is in the current administration's best interest to make everyone as happy as possible. And so far as the market goes right now, I think they're doing a bad job. Not that they can make it go up only for forever, but it seems really, really messy. I don't know if they're relying too heavily on executive orders or something, but people are getting spooked, and it's showing in the market. News segment. I'm gonna linger a little bit today because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, any questions you guys got in the chat, fire them off. You want me to look at a specific chart? Let's talk about it. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord. Links in the description. We've been talking about our stock picks in there recently, and the one that I looked at, I got there was a post on X. Somebody was talking about it. It's Ocean Power Technologies. After hours, it's up like 20%. It's currently sitting at 48.80, 48 cents, basically 49 cents. They are, I guess, working with Anduril. They got a partnership with Anduril to provide like underwater scooters, essentially, or something like that. And it's a micro cap. It's like $100 million market cap. So if you do decide to buy some of this, exercise caution. I'm not a financial advisor. It is up a lot after hours. But we did look at it, and I did buy some before it was up 20% after hours. I don't know if I'm getting screwed in the after hours purchase, or if I'm like in a queue, or if I'm going to buy it 20% higher than where it's at right now. I don't know. I have no idea, but I did commit to buying some. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go with that. I thought that was cool. We're going to start building probably stock portfolios on the channel to monitor alongside our crypto portfolios, because I think it's a good idea. It showcases the diversity, and we've preached diversity from the beginning. I think diversity is very important, but when we first started, it was definitely just diversity in crypto, and we've evolved to be diverse in all kinds of investments. I like Pokemon, so I'm diverse in Pokemon cards. I got precious metals. We got some silver. We got some copper. A little bit of gold, but that's not bullion. That's actually like jewelry. And what else? What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it for now. Hopefully the next one is going to be property, which I'll probably document that whole process if we do go through with that. But the goal, the idea, is to buy a house. That is the end goal. Before I'm 42. Calvin said, stay blessed, guys. Time to microwave some Jiffy popcorn and turn in. Take it easy. Calvin, appreciate you for stopping by. Cheers, my friend. Happy Sunday. Stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. We got FOMC this week, so make sure you tune in and share the stream. We're trying to get the 2K subs before April. Kobe SA letter posted, we now have another government shutdown on the way. Potential 100% tariffs on Canada. President Trump actively looking to acquire Greenland. U.S. Armada heading toward Iran. Department of Justice investigation into Fed Chair Powell. BlackRock CIO as the likely next Fed chair. President Trump calling for $2,000 stimulus checks and 1% interest rates. Asset owners will be the only winners. Hell yeah. So this is the interesting, and it's a mouthful, so bear with me. Bull Theory posted, the Fed is preparing to sell U.S. dollars and buy Japanese yen for the first time this century. The New York Fed has already done rate checks, which is the exact step taken before real currency intervention. This means the U.S. is preparing to sell dollar and buy yen. This is rare, and historically, when this happens, global markets surge. Japan is under heavy pressure. The yen has been weak for years. Japan's bond yields are at multi-decade highs, and the Bank of Japan is still hawkish. Together, this creates stress for not just for Japan, but for global markets. That is why central banks are now taking this situation seriously. Japan has already tried to defend its currency many times on its own, but it failed in 2022 and 2024. Even the July 2024 intervention only worked for a short time. History is very clear on this. When Japan acts alone, it does not work, but when the US and Japan act together, it does. We saw this in 1998 during the Asian financial crisis. Japan's solo interventions failed, but when the US joined, the yen stabilized. We saw it even more clearly in 1985 with the Plaza Accord, when coordinated action pushed the dollar down nearly 50% over 2 years. That changed everything. The dollar weakened, gold, commodities, non-US markets all pumped. If the Fed intervenes, this is how it'll play out. The Fed creates dollars, sells them, and uses those dollars to buy yen. That weakens the dollar and increases global liquidity. And whenever the dollar is intentionally weakened, asset prices usually surge. Now look at crypto. Bitcoin has one of the strongest inverse relationships with the dollar, and one of the strongest positive relationships with the yen. Right now, Bitcoin-yen correlation is near record highs. I do believe that Japan is very, very pro-crypto, so that does correlate. But there's a catch. There is still hundreds of billions of dollars tied into the yen carry trade. People borrow cheap yen to invest in stocks and crypto. When the yen strengthens suddenly, they are forced to sell those assets to repay loans. We saw this in August 2024. A small Bank of Japan rate hike sent the yen higher. Bitcoin crashed from 64K to 49K in 6 days. Crypto lost 600 billion in value. So yen strength creates short-term risk for crypto. But dollar weakness creates long-term upside. Now, why is this bullish for crypto? Because Bitcoin is still well below its 2025 peak. It is one of the few major assets that has not fully repriced for currency debasement. If coordinated intervention actually happens and the dollar weakens, capital will look for assets that are still cheap relative to the macro shift. Historically, crypto benefits strongly from that environment. This may become one of the most important macro setups of 2026. We will see. As of right now, every big theory that everyone's tossed out has kind of been trash, if I'm being completely honest. So we'll see if this ends up being the same. I like the US dollar yen relationship portion of that post. The crypto portion, I'm 50-50 on. Trent Spider posted, this week's lineup is insane. FOMC decision, Powell presser, Apple earnings, Tesla earnings, Microsoft earnings, and Meta earnings. Number go up, maybe? It's definitely going to be interesting. We got a Coinfession. It's been a while since we've had any of these. This guy said, I bought XRP around 33 cents in 2021. Held and sold at $2.50 this year. I sold the lot. Bought a house and I'm completely cash positive. I'm glad to be away from it all. It changed my life. What a freaking legend. Tom Saltzcoat said, this is one of those posts where I put the too long didn't read GIF as a comment on. Okay. Crypto Fergani posted, okay, so the dollar is dying, stocks are overvalued, Europe is dead, you can't trust Chinese assets, gold is already up massive. What do we buy right now? I don't know, that's a good question. We got another Coinfession. I turned $300 into over 300K since the summer of last year, tracking people trading meme coins. Stabled 98% of it months ago and reset the trading wallet back to 10 SOL to start over. I personally don't care how some of you may feel about tracking, that it's gay to do, then consider me zesty, my guy. This shit changed my life. That's awesome. I guess I'm curious as to what tracking is exactly. Are they just following other people's moves? Because that's interesting. Crypto Fergani. This is another long post, so there you go, Tom Saltzcoat. Post away. Bull run. Bull run don't end like this. I've lived through 2017, I survived 2021, and now I'm watching 2026 unfold in real time. And listen to me carefully. Bull markets never die in fear. Never. Every real top I've seen had the same signs. Everyone's screaming higher prices, maximum greed, no fear anywhere, influencers celebrating, new retail pouring in nonstop. But right now, everyone's calling for lower. Everyone thinks it's over. Everyone thinks this is a bear market. This is a bear market. Use your brain. Fear doesn't end bull runs. Euphoria does. We are not even close to euphoria. CZ himself said it. The bull market hasn't even started yet. Sentiment is the clearest signal. and it's the most bearish I've ever seen during a bull cycle. That's not a top. Institutions are buying, whales are buying, ancient whales are selling. Now listen, for the past 2 to 3 months, 4-year cycle believers have been dumping nonstop. 99% of them are already out, which means no more sell pressure, only buy pressure, pure demand. not quite yet. Which means Q1 is lining up to be the biggest run in the history of crypto. Buy when you can, ignore the fear, the real bull run is about to begin. I don't know if I believe that, but I'm here for it. I appreciate the bravado. Mr. Roberts said, hello, nut tuggers. Hey, JJ. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? I appreciate you addressing me by name. Cheers. Oh, delicious. Okay. Watcher Guru. Let's go check silver really quick. Silver currently sitting at 107.817. Interesting. Is this the top? Michael Saylor hints at buying more Bitcoin. Unstoppable orange. I don't know what to think of that. I really don't. He really did start piling in more and more frequently. Where's he getting all this money? Watcher Guru posted Bitcoin falls under $88,000. $130 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 60 minutes. That was 11 hours ago. Bitcoin falls under $87,000. We are currently at 87,186, by the way. Odds of the U.S. government shutting down by Friday reaches new all-time high. This is a big, scary thing right now for crypto. When the U.S. government shut down, we see the market do very, very bad. So a government shutdown is not a good thing. It's bearish. Tom Selleck's Code said, tell little bro to look at the last 8 hours. Apparently there's still sellers. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely still sellers. Canada says it has no plans to sign a free trade deal with China after President Trump threatens 100% tariffs. That's hilarious. Gold reaches $5,000 for the first time in history. Silver reaches new all-time high of $105. Hell yeah. Tokenize the world. Tokenized funds hit a new all-time high of 14.4 billion. We have not even turned on the machines. There will be 10,000 IPOs and STOs. You will choose which network you like. There will be options. No single point of failure. That's from Marty Party. I agree. Problem with this is you don't need to buy any of these coins to utilize tokenized assets. Tokenization is going to be what crypto tried to do. And there's going to be maybe like between 1 and 5 networks that people use. And the rest are kind of going to be just background noise, I think. It's just my opinion. Marty Party posted Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation January 25th. This is his update. So far, so good. This chart does point out that we're going down to around 79K, maybe 78K. So we'll see what happens, what plays out. He's also calling for this to be January 30th approximately. Cubby Escalator posted, Senate Democrats threaten to shut down the U.S. government if DHS and ICE funding is included. The odds of government shutdown on January 31st are rising sharply. Here's my issue. Obviously, you know, whatever political argument they're trying to make for one thing or the other, I don't really give a crap about. My problem is all of them still get paid when the government gets shut down. I don't like that. I think if the government gets shut down, everyone's paycheck gets put on hold, and you don't get paid while the shutdown is like happening. Every day the government is shut down, you, who's in charge of the government not shutting down, do not get paid at all. You get paid nothing. That's a little bit of an incentive to hurry the hell up, because every time the government shut down, we're just paying taxes and have to deal with the repercussions of the government shutting down because they want to play politics. It drives me crazy. I can't stand it. I'm sorry. I think the amount of time it takes for any kind of decision to happen in our government is the biggest inefficiency in any world superpower I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. The Trump administration is set to invest $1.6 billion in USA Rare Earth for a 10% stake at the company per Financial Times. The stock also happened to be up 9% on Friday and 46% over the last 5 days. Trump wants more U.S. rare earths. Very cool. India has reportedly reached a new trade deal with the EU and will cut tariffs on cars from 110% to 40%, with tariffs eventually falling to 10%. India is making trade deals with the EU, and Canada is making trade deals with China. Global trade is shifting. Good. I feel like that's important. Buckle up for a huge week ahead. Markets react to 100% Canada tariff threat tonight. Markets react to 75% chance of government shutdown tonight. Tuesday, January consumer confidence data. Wednesday, Fed interest rate decision and press conference. Wednesday is when I find out how much money I lost with my Calci bets. If you guys haven't already and you aren't interested, go check out Calci. I actually have to fix this graphic. You get $10 if you sign up with my Calci link. You get $25, and I get $10. Yeah, I believe you have to make like a $25 bet, and it is non-withdrawable site credit. So you can't just get the $25 and take all of your money out. You have to play with the $25 that they give you. But it is technically free bet money, and it's a lot of fun. If you do decide to do that, though, treat it like gambling. It is literally gambling. That's just there for people that want to use it. Take advantage of it. And it helps support the channel. The CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed is at 29, and CoinMarketCap doesn't look that great. Looks pretty bad, actually. Oh, yeah. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, we're trying to get that 2,000 subscribers before April. Mr. Robert said, Tom, I feel I need to apologize for being so forward on mentioning the sell of ooh. I only noted it because I'm OCD about saying my trades out loud that I bring up here. Oh, dang. Better apologize. Oops. We've got, I did it again. I did not mean to make Britney Spears reference, but I'm sticking with it. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike. Wouldn't that be great? The U.S. housing market has shifted into one of the strongest buyer markets on record. I don't know how. I am still unable to buy a home, but thank you. Home sellers outnumbered buyers by 47.1% in December 2025, the largest gap since Redfin data began in 2013. The percentage jumped by 7.1 points positive from November, the biggest monthly increase since September 2022. The number of active home buyers fell 5.9% month over month to 1.34 million, the lowest level on record. Meanwhile, home sellers declined 1.1% month over month to 1.97 million, the lowest since February 2025. By comparison, in November 2021, there were 36.5% fewer sellers than buyers. This all comes as elevated housing costs and economic uncertainty continue to push buyers to the sidelines. Buyers now hold unprecedented negotiating power, but only if they can afford to enter the market, which is the biggest problem because the market is still incredibly unaffordable. Mr. Roberts said it can totally keep going up, and I think it will. I just wanted to pause on it for a possible dip and buy again later. You said that already, Mr. Roberts. Stop being so nice. Go back to Canada. Cheers. I'm just joking, by the way. You keep being you. We appreciate you. All right. Whew. Let's continue. Silver's at 108.27. Tom Salkscott said, LOL, I can't believe you did that to me, Mr. Roberts. It's not funny. You need to leave. I'm just kidding. He said, LOL, all good, Roberts. I'll just laugh at you as I roll around in all the money I make that you lose out on. Dang. Shots fired. All right. The US dollar accounted for 65% of global foreign currency reserves in 2001. 25 years later, it now accounts for just 40% of reserves. Do as you wish with this information. Number go down. Breaking, Bitcoin falls below $88,000 as 60 million worth of levered longs are liquidated in 30 minutes. A government shutdown is now expected as President Trump has threatened 100% tariffs on Canada. U.S. stock market futures will open in less than 7 hours. The way that they said this makes it sound like Trump was like, I'm going to put 100% tariffs on Canada. And then Canada's like, we're going to shut down the government. Like somehow Canada has the ability to shut down the U.S. government. A government shutdown is now expected and present. Oh, I said as. That's what it was. That was my bad then. Whoops. Oh yeah, apparently there was an allegedly, please don't shut down my stream. There was allegedly a attempted coup in China. like on Xi Jinping, which is insane. So we have news on that. China's government has accused their most senior general, Zhang Yuzia, I don't know, of allegedly leaking nuclear weapons secrets to the U.S. Zhang has reportedly leaked core technical data on China's nuclear weapons to the U.S. That's crazy. In secret recordings, Senator Ted Cruz reportedly trashed President Trump on tariffs. You're going to lose the House, you're going to lose the Senate, you're going to spend the next 2 years being impeached, Cruz said. Trump's response, F you, Ted. I'm not gonna lie, I actually agree with Ted Cruz here. And I kind of think he's a bumbling idiot. But I maybe not in regards to tariffs specifically, but the most recent like week or two of I don't know, throwing his weight around, if we don't start to see results, like positive results from this soon, shit's gonna hit the fan, and it's not gonna be good for the right. I think they're gonna lose midterms if we don't see a big change anytime soon in the positive direction. Then it's gonna be pretty spicy. Canada is systematically destroying itself. The China deal is a disaster. We are now on step number 3 of the tariff playbook. I don't think that anything's going to happen with that. I don't actually think that we're doing tariff playbook with this one, if I'm being real. President Trump says China is successfully and completely taking over the once great country of Canada. He also said, which I thought was hilarious, he said, I only hope they leave ice hockey alone, which is pretty funny. Ice hockey is pretty amazing. Bitcoin extends losses to fall below $87,000 as 170 million worth of levered longs are liquidated in 60 minutes. Liquidations over the last 4 hours are up to 320 million. Bitcoin currently sitting at 87,249 and 96 cents. In case you don't realize what's coming, the chief investment officer of BlackRock is now expected to be the next Fed chair, and Trump says cutting rates is a requirement for the next Fed chair and is actively calling for 1% interest rates. 2026 is going to be a wild year. Let's actually ask Grok what will happen if they do that. What will happen to crypto prices if the Fed cuts rates down to 1% this year? Crypto Spaces said no such thing as top blasting gold and silver. They are not vaporware like crypto. And I think that that's another big thing. What we just saw with crypto over the past 5 years is definitely spawning like the next wave of physical asset owners. Watch. I think here, I'm going to call it right now. The top of physical assets is going to be when Best Buy has more than one aisle full of DVDs for sale. That is going to be the top. I'm calling it right now. DVDs, CDs, maybe even vinyl. I don't know. What if they bring back VHS? And if there's like movie rental places? Whoa. That'll be crazy. Greg said, ahoy, JJ and crew. Silver to 120 or more. Bitcoin to 75K or less. You choose. Number go up. Mr. Greg, number go up. Silver, 107 and 91 cents. Looking good. We do like the silver. Okay. Here's the crazy coup thing. China's top military generals have been nearly entirely purged. This one dude, I swear, I was looking at this earlier and I was like, dang, that one guy's probably like, yes. These other 5 dudes were probably like, ew. Zhang Shengmin always kissing Xi's ass. I hate that guy. What a loser. And then all of these guys get completely wrecked. And this dude is like, oh. He's like arresting each one of them individually. He's like, what were you saying? What were you saying at lunch the other day? I didn't quite hear you. At the water cooler. I thought you said that I was a loser. Is that what you said? Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Now you're going to prison for the rest of your life. How did that happen? Oh no. He's like just a big petty asshole about it. That would be so funny. Okay. CMC Vice Chairman 1 accused of leaking nuclear secrets to U.S. Vice Chairman 2 removed on October 2025 over corruption. 3, National Minister of Defense removed in 2023 for corruption. 4, Chief of the CMC Joint Staff Deputy Department, I don't know, under investigation for violations. 5, Director CMC Political Work Department removed in 2025 over corruption. The U.S.-China rivalry has gone well beyond trade. That's crazy. That's crazy. Honestly, this to me is spooky. Like, if these people were like U.S. assets, is that not like a justification to start war? I don't know. It freaks me out. We got Canada's Prime Minister Carney says he does not plan to sign a free trade agreement with China after President Trump threatened 100% tariffs. Dang. Dow futures fall nearly 400 points in their initial reaction to the weekend's events. A government shutdown is now expected, and the U.S.-Canada trade war is back. Dang. Number go down. Gold officially rises above 5K an ounce for the first time in history. The gold rush is accelerating. I thought about buying 1 gram of gold recently because I think it'd be cool. Silver surges above $106 an ounce for the first time in history, now up another 48% in 2026. A likely government shutdown just added fuel to the fire for precious metals. Damn. Greg said CCP equals corrupt plus. They got that CCP DLC. They get the CCP DLC soundtrack included with the new skin and the hair plugs. All right. Let's see. Oh, this one was really fun. I have officially I've purchased a trapezoid bar of copper. I'm very excited for it. It is going to be my life's goal as a man who may or may not be obsessed with investing, to acquire 1 trapezoidal bar of copper, which is on its way, silver, which is going to be really expensive, and then gold, which is going to be probably impossible. That's probably never going to happen. But never say never. Life goal. But I will acquire a house probably before the gold. Maybe I'll just buy like another copper one, and I'll have it gold plated just for myself, and it'll still say copper. But I'll just like look at it from a distance. Okay. A copper shortage is coming next. The world economy is projected to face a copper deficit of 10 million tons by 2040, equivalent to 33% of current global demand. This comes as global copper demand is estimated to surge to 42 million tons by 2040 from 28 million tons in 2025. Asia alone is expected to reflect 60% of total demand growth over this time, driven by EV adoption and grid upgrades. At the same time, AI data center copper demand is set to surge 127% to 2.5 million tons by 2040. Meanwhile, supply is expected to peak at 34 million tons in 2030, before declining to 32 million tons by 2040. Supply, okay. Copper is the next global strategic commodity. That is crazy. Absolutely insane. Pretty cool. Your silver coin that was worth $29 last year. Last year, you could have bought 1 ounce of silver for $29. Is now worth a record $107 today. This is not normal market behavior, according to the Kobayashi letter. I am totally okay with that. Not normal is cool. We like not normal. We also like number go up. So CZ says that very few strategies can beat the simple buy and hold, especially if it's on Binance. Look at his face. Ben Armstrong said crypto is disrupting the financial system, and it's getting more rare to find true skeptics out there. Here's my issue now. Crypto, I don't believe it. Crypto was disrupting the financial system. Now crypto is stuck in the financial system's dick, if we're being real. Because we're like, oh, we need the government. We need the Clarity Act. And do you guys want to tokenize some stuff on our chain? We'll let you tokenize. Just please, JP Morgan and BlackRock and Wells Fargo and Vanguard, please, guys, please, U.S. government, Donald Trump, help the crypto. And that's literally the opposite of what crypto is supposed to be. We're sitting here tripping over a government shutdown. That's ridiculous. I think we've lost sight of the cypherpunk nature of crypto. I'm just saying, it's getting a little stupid out here. which is why silver and gold are exploding right now, and why Bitcoin is taking a big fat dump on our chest. Greg said, silver SL Comics is smelting up. 108, insane. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. $108.14. Pretty crazy. Let's go check gold really quick. Gold, 5,075 and 70 cents. Ooh, that's crazy, dude. For 1 ounce, for 1 freaking ounce of gold, you get $5,000. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Wow. Wow. I have no words. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is like, struggling to like touch 90K. Ridiculous. I love that I'm being so so critical. Bitcoin, which was like $0, by the way, in like when it was created a couple decades ago, is worth over 100 grand now. And I'm like, how pathetic. Crypto Spaces said, if you feel down about crypto, just know a Mario movie with Yoshi is coming out. Hell yeah. Is it played by Chris Pratt? Yoshi specifically? I only watch movies when every character is Chris Pratt. That was a thing for a little while. I don't know why they did that. You know what looks really cringy? Everyone like shat all over the Ice Cube movie where he was just sitting in front of the computer the whole time. And he's like, oh, damn. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. They're literally doing that with Chris Pratt, but he's sitting in a chair this time. And he's on trial. I'm really excited to not watch that movie and then to not be surprised that all the people on YouTube talking crap about it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll watch that movie and I'll do a review on the channel. I think that'd be funny. We'll do that. Okay. $87,486 and 466 and 1 penny. We'll see if Bitcoin can get back above this blue line. Throwback 8 years ago, someone took out a $325,000 mortgage to buy 191 Bitcoin. Today, that Bitcoin would be worth $16 million. 8 years ago, user deleted said, today I took out a $325,239 equity loan on my house to purchase 191.118 Bitcoin. They deleted the post, by the way, so I hope they held. Crypto investor 8 years ago said, firstly, let me wish you good luck. Second, let me tell you how much of an idiot you are. This guy is probably a genius. And he's probably living on a yacht somewhere. I hope. I really do. I hope he held, and I hope he's freaking filthy rich. That would be hilarious. Cointelegraph posted, Polymarket users expect a 77% chance of another government shutdown at the end of the month. I'm going to see if this is on Kalshi, and I'm going to bet against it just because I have a gambling addiction. But that 33 cents doing a 3x, if I put 10 bucks in there and I get paid 30, great. You know what odds are a lot better than buying a scratch off or a lottery ticket? Those odds. The odds of the US government not shutting down. That's probably actually not true, but we'll see. Cointelegraph posted, the US government wallet has lost 11.8 billion US dollar value since Bitcoin's all-time high, but they still hold $29.5 billion in crypto. Latest, despite banning crypto, China has only 4,012 Bitcoin away from flipping the USA as the government with the largest Bitcoin holding. Are they banning crypto and then raiding like crypto miners or whatever and then just taking their Bitcoin? I'm curious as to how they acquired that. Mr. Robbers said, I bought my little one some physical gold and silver last year for a rainy day. It's been pouring for a year. Damn. Greg said silver and other metals are not precious. They are industrial metal mania. Toss in uranium, but okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna call it precious anyways. What qualifies a metal as precious? I'm curious about that. Fill us in, Mr. Greg. Because that kind of goes. This is such a bad segue, and I apologize for this, but this is. I was not a good kid in high school. I was gonna say that kind of is what I always say whenever people talk about drugs, like street drugs versus designer drugs versus like pharmaceutical drugs. Which is crazy. The fact that like they made it legal for doctors in Canada to prescribe cocaine in rare instances, which is crazy. Could you imagine going to the doctor and being like, "Yo, sometimes my nose gets a little bit plugged," and the doctor's like, "Here's some cocaine." You're like, "Whoa, doctor, I didn't know you partied like that. That's crazy." Crypto Spaces said when it's scarce, right? Maybe. We'll see what Mr. Greg says. That sounds right to me. The UK, Ukraine, Bhutan. You remember when Germany had a crap ton of Bitcoin and they sold it for like way less than what Bitcoin's valued at right now? Gold has overtaken the US dollar as the largest global reserve currency. Damn, that's crazy. We got gold in global reserves, pound in global reserves, yen in global reserves, euros in global reserves, and US dollar. Yeah, wow. That's insane, dude. That is insane. Look at this correlation. It's so interesting. It's weird to see. Everyone's definitely just buying gold with the US dollar. Meanwhile, euro, yen, and pound all kind of drop in unison. That's very interesting. Greg said precious equals unique properties. Okay, so it's like a scientific thing. Okay. Just in, Ethereum leads on-chain lending with around $28 billion in active loans per token terminal. That's about 10 times more than any other network. We got Ethereum, followed by something called Plasma, and then Solana, Base, Arbitrum, BNB, Avalanche, and other. Interesting. I like that. $131 million in longs were wiped out in the past hour. That was 11 hours ago. Pretty crazy. Huge. The total crypto market cap wiped out $40 billion in just 3 hours. That is so much money. Solana is now 57% away from its all-time high. ARK bought the dip, adding Coinbase, Circle, and Bullish as crypto slid and Coinbase dragged ETF performance. I might consider buying some Coinbase stock soon-ish, I'm going to say. Bitcoin is still up 810,000% since 2012. Very cool. Gold breaks above $5,000 for the first time. Hell yeah. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong calls for easier capital formation for private companies, envisions a future where firms can go public entirely on-chain. That would be sick. Bitcoin whale wallets holdings hit 4-month high at 7.17 million Bitcoin, while 1 million plus daily transfers reached 2-month highs per sentiment. Interesting. Ethereum Foundation launches post-quantum security team with $2 million funding to protect against quantum computing threats. I like that there's a treasury for all of these big chains. The reason why these chains are in the top 10 is because they have a treasury and they have enough money and coinage funding to last through 8-year-long bear markets. That's huge. That's a big deal. Crypto Spaces said, with gold and silver pumping so hard, isn't front-running some catastrophic event? It might be. It might be. What is that catastrophic event, you ask? Probably the collapse, the collapse of modern money. But we'll see. We will see. The next chance we are going to have is in 8 years, which is insane, according to this chart. So we'll have plenty of time to prepare. We got 6 years to bad times, and then 2 years to good times from that. And then apparently a panic a year after that, which is crazy. But we'll see. We will see. That's according to that Benner cycle. Trump-backed World Liberty Financial sold 99.77 wrapped Bitcoin worth $8.07 million for 2,868 Ethereum at $2,813 per ETH. So World Liberty Finance is basically swapping their Bitcoin to ETH, which is very, very interesting. Next, Zach XBT says the threat actor who stole 40 million plus from the U.S. government seizure address is the son of the owner of CMMDS. CMMDS is a company contracted to help USMS manage seized crypto assets. Money post sharing investigation, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the concept is that the kid, stole the seed phrase from his dad. and sold the Bitcoin or something, which is insane. This has been an ongoing story. That's strictly speculation, but super interesting story. Imagine stealing $40 million from your dad's work. How do you, I don't even know, how do you even do that? And your dad's work is the entire country of the United States of America. Does that technically make you a domestic terrorist? Because that's a lot of money, bro. That is so much money. Crypto spaces, yep. Greg said silver is the best elemental metal for electrical connectivity. Crypto spaces said, or is it just, hey, it's gold and silver pump time for no reason? I mean, is it no reason? They've been kind of down for, like, people have been waiting for gold and silver to pump since, like, the 1970s. It's been 50 years. You know what I mean? It might just be like a catch-up trade for all we know. Shit got spicy. Shit got real spicy. Greg said the catastrophic event is long in crypto right now. Crypto Spaces said, was there any correlation with the pandemic and a gold pump in the past? LOL, Greg, I will have to change my name. Yeah, I was gonna do a joke. I'm not gonna tell you guys because I might still do it. Let's continue before I spoil my genius, my comedic genius. Bitcoin, big chunk of liquidity between 86 and 88K has been taken out. These days, any macroeconomic...
It's been a long time since I donated, JJ. You are well over 1,000 subscribers now and I'm stoked for you, bro. I hope the success continues. If I'm not around for a while, I wish you and all the good people all the best. Cheers, Brody.
Cheers, Mr. Roberts. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, my friend. Happy Sunday. Thank you for the super chat. You're a real one. And it's pink, which is adorable. Haven't heard that voice in a long time either. Thank you, man. Hopefully, maybe if you do disappear for a little while, maybe you come back and we have 2,000 subscribers. That'd be pretty sick. And we're like wealthy investors with a house. It would be crazy. I'm going to take that $50 and put it on some ridiculous Kalshi bet. Greg said, here's my TA. Do your own. I think that Bitcoin will test 75K soon and way before it cracks 95K. Any takers? I don't disagree. I think we're going to 70. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 70 right now. And here's the issue. Usually I'll try to make some kind of bullish counter argument and be like, well, I don't know, but if it does, it'll probably hit 70, but I don't think so. I don't think that anymore. I think it's just going to 70K. I've lost all hope and faith in the idea that we're going to bounce and continue to the upside. That might be the ultimate bottom signal. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm not selling my bags. I'm going to continue to DCA. I have officially splintered my DCA into other assets that aren't crypto because crypto sucks ass right now. But I'm still buying crypto. So that splinter is just splintering into other stuff with the crypto. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? I'm definitely rambling. I apologize. Bitcoin, 87,814 and 81 cents. Silver, 107,7841. I don't know. Okay. Next we've got crypto for Ghani again. The next 3 to 6 months will feel like a money printer. Bitcoin will break all-time high, and ETH will follow. Billions will flood into mid and low cap alts, and memes will send 10 to 100x. I'm gonna just start posting this post every 3 or 4 weeks, because that's what it seems like they do. Total crypto market cap is heading for 8 to 10 trillion. Last cycle it hit 2.7, and we saw 100x plays. Imagine 3 times that. Just hold. Whales will try to shake you out. Don't fall for it. The real money is in patience. Alt season and meme season are locked in. BlackRock isn't getting our bags cheap. Bitcoin to 150 to 200K is inevitable. Like this tweet and I'll share the alts and memes I'm buying. I'm not going to laugh at the post because they might be right, but we've seen this 1,000 times. Now we have seen all of these arguments about the Golden Cross and all this stuff, and that being like a big front run event. That might be what's happening right now. I don't know, but I'm not going to sit here and hold my breath for higher prices because I don't know if we're going to get them before we get low prices. I have no idea. I'm fully prepared for zero. There's a non-zero chance that that happens. Greg said fundamentals versus the world Bitcoin. I will always be an advocate for Bitcoin, but they made it a commodity in the past 2 years. That's what I was saying earlier. We've lost the cypherpunk nature. We've become so reliant on the federal government. We're like begging for regulation and stuff. Like, what is that? And we're like, we can't pump without the Clarity Act. What are you saying, bro? Do you hear yourself? It's ridiculous. Go call your mom. Call your mom, say, Mom, I've become a reliant little bitch. And she'll comfort you and help you through it. And maybe you are never going to be able to be independent again, but that's life. Let's continue. Thank you again, Mr. Robbers. Thank everybody here, guys, for smashing the like button, for showing up, for subscribing. You guys are all legends. Ron Sovereignty Swanson, 11 hours ago. The Bitcoin goalposts have moved a crazy amount. It'll never be worth anything. It'll never be used to buy anything. Banks will never offer Bitcoin exposure. Merchants will never accept it. States and countries will never buy, mine, or hold it. Businesses will just convert it to USD after accepting it. Politicians will never need policy around it for votes. Banks will never accept it as collateral. Businesses will never start their own reserve of Bitcoin. Businesses will never pay their employees in Bitcoin. Bitcoin adoption, eventually rivaling fiat, will never be a topic at the World Economic Forum. We are here now. That escalated quickly. Don't blink. That is pretty crazy. Like, we can talk about the price all day long. The fact that they were discussing Bitcoin in a serious manner at the World Economic Forum is next level. Like, it has become a global reserve asset, which is pretty damn cool. Kind of happened out of nowhere. So regardless, it's pretty sick. CryptoSpace said people want to buy Bitcoin at 40K. That's why we can't pump. If we go to 40K, I don't know what to think anymore. Nexus said whales are buying Bitcoin like never before. Something is coming big time. Bitcoin News posted something about BitX. The only reason I have this up here is because I'm thinking about buying a BitX lottery miner because they're fun, and I think it'd be a cool little desk ornament. And maybe we mine a block and get 300, or yeah, it would be $300,000 right now about. Leshka.eth posted an identical pattern as 2021. Bitcoin will bottom at 30 to 40K range. Altcoins trade to zero. Short everything and walk away from the space. Not financial advice. Maybe they're right. It does look similar. I'm not going to deny that it looks similar. Because it does. Issue I have is that's a huge drop. And we don't want it to go down that low. So it's hard to believe that it's going to go down that low. You know what I mean? What did this guy post? What about that dumb? It's not the same. And the bottom is 60 to 70K. I like it. I like it. What did this guy post? Or that's resistance and support. We got a bunch. We're going down a whole rabbit hole right here. Okay, I like that. That's sloppy, but I like it. I'll take it. I don't know. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Next, we got another coin fashion. I turned $300 into 150K trading Solana memes in October. I am 18 and cashed out 90% during Solana all-time highs. Thank God. It's paid for me to travel the world and enjoy things I never thought I would be able to, especially since I don't come from money. Forever grateful to the space. Absolute freaking legend right there, guys. That's how you do it. I came to crypto Twitter for crypto. But the only thing influencers talk about is Pokemon cards, gold, silver, and nickel. I'm so tired of this. I just want some new I just want to see new coins pump. Speaking of Pokemon cards, I bought booster, what is it called? A booster bundle the other day. So I now have not opened them yet. I now have a brick of booster packs, and they like an actual brick filled with booster packs. I'm very excited. I do not have a problem. I don't know what you're talking about. Kalshi. I like that I used that. And that was a complete accident. Very much a coincidence. Accidental gambling plug right there. Okay, we got some chat going on. Greg said, chemo to mom, take your entire 401k and dump it into FBTC, IBIT, MicroStrategy, and don't talk to me for 2 years. Damn. Tom Saltzgoat said, you are more likely to win the Powerball twice in a row than mine a block with that dog shit. It's a cool desk ornament, though. It is a cool desk ornament. I like it. They look cool. Crypto Spaces said, the kid was smart, didn't round trip. Exactly. Tom, what's cool about the lottery miner is that you can actually have it mined to a pool and just collect just little trickles of Bitcoin anyways and not have to worry about lottery mining. But then you lose the possibility of being able to lottery mine. So it's just fun. It's supposed to be fun. The best advertisement for those lottery miners is people actually winning a block and getting 300K. That's happened like 5 times in the past 3 years. That's crazy. U.S. car loan applications are being rejected at the highest rate in more than a decade. That's insane. Last but not least, I guess, from bar chart, gold hits $5,000 for the first time in history. That is crazy. All right, let's see what Grok said really quick. Bitcoin 87,906 and 13 cents. Silver 107,6998. Very cool. Dominance a 59.85. Bitcoin recovering from the dump. Is it going to last though? Are we going to watch us do one of these because we do this every single time. I don't know if that's going to be it, but look at this right here. We did it here. Failure here. Failure here. That's just what happens. When we flip from a bull trend to a bear trend, we have to bottom out first. Haven't seen that yet. Obviously, it'd take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's time to go long. This is the Pico bottom. It might be, but I'm not putting money on that idea. All right, Grok. We asked Grok, what will happen to crypto prices if the Fed cuts rates down to 1% this year? If the Federal Reserve would have cut federal funds rates aggressively down to 1% in 2026 from its current level of around 3.64%, this would represent a highly stimulative monetary policy shift involving roughly 260 basis points of cuts at a single year. Such deep cuts are rare outside of major economic crisis and are not currently expected, with most forecasts pointing rates holding steady or declining only modestly 0 to 50 points total. Likely bullish impact on crypto prices. Lower interest rates are generally positive for cryptocurrencies, which behave as risk-on assets similar to growth stocks. Key reasons include increased liquidity and risk appetite, cheaper borrowing, and lower yields on safe assets. Encourage investors to seek higher returns in speculative assets, driving capital into crypto. Historical precedent. Bitcoin and broader crypto markets have shown a strong inverse correlation with interest rates. Prices surged during near zero rates periods, 2020 to 2021, and crashed during the 2022 hiking cycle. Recent milder rate cuts in 2025 have already supported rallies in Bitcoin and altcoins. Where is the altcoin surge? A drop to 1% would flood markets with liquidity, potentially triggering a major bull run similar to or exceeding the 2020 to 2021 cycle, where Bitcoin rose over 1,000% amid lower rates. Altcoins, being more volatile, could see even larger percentage gains. If cuts signal a recession, aggressive easing to 1% would likely indicate severe economic overall outlook. Most scenarios, cutting rates to 1% would be strongly bullish for crypto prices over the medium to long term, likely leading to substantial gains as liquidity effects dominate. This aligns with observed patterns where easier monetary policy boosts risk assets. However, the path could be volatile, especially if driven by economic distress. This is not financial advice. Crypto remains highly speculative. Why don't people think that will happen? That's literally what Trump is going for with his next Fed chair. Let's see what Grok says about that. Sometimes Grok is a little stupid. Also, it's really easy to push it into saying what you wanted to say. Bitcoin, $87,838.10. Is this the beginning of a proper recovery or a bull trap? Solana is up 3.45%, looking good. Not fully recovered quite yet, but it is recovering a little bit, which is great. ETH up 1.84%. We are erasing those losses, which is pretty cool to see. A lot of people probably open up shorts right at the Pico bottom and are getting wrecked right now. Liquidation heat map. We are pretty close to that 88.34. Markets and economics largely do not expect the Federal Reserve to cut rates aggressively to 1% in 2026, even with President Trump's clear preference for much lower rates. His upcoming opportunity to nominate a new Fed chair. The federal funds rate 3.64. Trump's influence and preference. Trump has repeatedly pushed for deep rate cuts, explicitly mentioning levels as low as 1% to boost growth, reducing borrowing costs, and supporting his agenda. He's criticized Powell and is vetting more accommodative candidates for the chair role. A more dovish chair could tilt policy toward easier conditions over time. Key reasons for skepticism. Economic backdrop doesn't justify it. Rates at 1% are typically reserved for crisis. Current conditions show solid growth, inflation cooling but still above 2% target in some measures, and no imminent recession signaling emergency easing. Aggressive cuts without clear weakness could reignite inflation, echoing 1970s risk that analysts warn about. Fed independence and process constraints. Policy is set by the full FOMC, not just the chair. With data-dependent decisions, a Trump nominee needs Senate confirmation, and overt political pressure could face pushback, as seen in Trump's first term, when rates rose despite his demands. There's even ongoing tension, including reports of investigations into Powell. Market and expert consensus overrides rhetoric. Forecasts reflect broad data, employment inflation trends, not just presidential wishes. Trump's influence might lead to slightly more cuts than under Powell, but not a plunge to crisis-level rates without justifying economic distress. In short, while a Trump-appointed chair could make policy somewhat more supportive of risk assets like crypto in the long run, the bar for 1% rates is extremely high and not met based on current outlooks. If the economy weakens sharply, that could change quickly, but it's not the base case. This remains speculative. Always consider multiple scenarios in the markets. Okay, what do you think we should expect for the next ISM manufacturing PMI print in February? Let's see what it says about that, because so the ISM manufacturing purchasing managers index is what everyone uses to measure the business cycle. The business cycle since the 2021 peak in cryptocurrency has been in contraction. This is 2021. This is us leading into the bear market, and this is where we've been since then. We have not been in expansion at all. We got there. We got 1 month right here, which was when Bitcoin unconventionally broke all-time highs before the halving. And then right here, which is January 2025, exactly 1 year ago, Bitcoin hit another peak. The most recent peak were these two guys right here. But at the end of the day, we have not been in expansion at all on the business cycle. And the next print could, like we've seen right here we went from 43 all the way up to 52, which is expansion. So that big spike is possible right here. If we get above 55, it would be even better. But we're going to have to wait till February 2nd to see what the actual number comes out as. Let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. Grok said recent performance 47.9, came in at 47.9. Consensus forecast at 48.3. Market ongoing contraction in the manufacturing, though the decline was modest. Expectations. Specific street consensus forecast January print not widely detailed. Currents based on blah blah blah. Low to mid 48s. Okay, so the same, a little bit higher. So it signaled continued mild contraction, but potential stabilization, slight improvement from December's 47.9. Early 2026 challenges like elevated interest rates weighing on demand. That's the problem, man. The Fed is fumbling the bag, man. At least they're fumbling my bag. Giovanni said, yo, what's going on, Giovanni? Potential outcomes and risks. A surprise to the upside nearing or crossing 50 could reflect early sentiment boost from the new administration or seasonal factors, while a drop below 47 could reinforce recessionary concerns. Overall, I lean toward a print around 48.2 in line with gradual bottoming rather than a sharp turnaround. Manufacturing has been sluggish for years, and meaningful expansion likely needs clearer signs of lower rates or stronger demand, neither of which is fully evident yet in January data collection period. This ties into broader macro. A softer than expected print could fuel dovish rate cut hopes, while strength might ease them. Keep an eye on leading regional surveys in the coming days for hints, not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Giovanni said, about to be JJ's precious metals corner. Exactly. Exactly, man. JJ's upside investments corner. JJ's number go up corner. We only talk about things that increase in value. Eventually, it's just going to be JJ's family corner. That's the only thing that's bullish around here. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's good. All right, we've been going 75 minutes. Very cool, very cool. Ooh, it's 11:44, damn. Okay, silver, 107.7723. We got a bunch of input from Gronk. Silver, absolutely shredding to the upside. Bitcoin, slowing down, trying to recover. Gold. I feel like Austin Powers, gold member. I love gold. 5,066 and 46 cents. Man, that's crazy. I can't believe the DXY is dumping as hard as it is. And nobody cares. It's kind of blowing my mind. But I think I'm going to call it, folks. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. As always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Appreciate you guys for participating in the chat and everything. Let's end our poll right here. I asked you guys what hits first. Smart. 62% of you guys said silver, $110. That is the closest target. 15 said $5,500 gold. 15 said 95K Bitcoin. And 8% said total market capitulation. Very interesting. We got 13 votes, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button down below. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, as always, when Bitcoin or the rest of the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Sunday and good night. We are going to try to be here for the FOMC on Wednesday, but it's dependent on weather. So good night, guys. Appreciate you.